In our last session of proposal writing, we discussed that proposal writing is one of the highest skills of communication. Negotiation is right there among the skills, highest skills of communication. So let's explore what it is. And before exploring, let us set our expectation. In this uh, in this session, we will discuss the definition of negotiation, the types of negotiation, essentials that are required, what are the processes, stages through which negotiation travels, what are the negotiation strategies that we should keep in mind, and what if and if we can bring some value to negotiation. First definition. Negotiation is a process by which two or more people or even group resolve an issue or arrive at a better outcome than a compromise, right? So it must be understood that negotiation is not arriving to a compromise. It is about discussing an issue, whatever that issue is, and we have to come to a common path. But that common path is not always a compromise. It is a strategic discussion that resolves an issue. We approach to the issue through a strategy in place. There are two types of negotiation: distributive and integrative. Distributive is called hard bargaining. It is very tough to negotiate, and it is about taking an extreme position where one side's win is supposed to be other side's loss, right? So it is not a win-win situation; it is win-lose situation, and this operates on a fixed pie principle that I want this much. So, for example, let's take an example in the very beginning that there are two companies. One is relatively new, the other one is relatively old. Just like in case of Flipkart um, and Walmart. Walmart, right? So Walmart acquired a major stake in Flipkart, right? So let's stick to this example of Walmart and Flipkart, right? So a hard bargain, a fixed pie. Fixed pie means if all the assets of Flipkart is divided into say 4 parts, right? So one part will define one pie. So if Walmart wishes or aspires to take up around four pies, 3 pies of the stakes out of the 4, right? And it does not budge, it does not back down. So it says, Walmart says that I will either acquire all the 3 pies or I will not acquire any of the pies. So that is fixed pie principle, in which only a set amount is out there for negotiation. So when we go for buying a car, or we are going to buy a home, a house, a villa, or an apartment, right? So fixed price is there either on the side of dealer or on the side of the customer. So that is what I will not go up above this price range. So this becomes distributive, hard bargaining. Integrative is very soft bargain. It does not look at the fixed pie principle. rather it includes the interests of other party as well, right? And it is a win-win situation. Both the parties are happy, and both the parties are satisfied, some more or less satisfied. That is what integrative is. Essentials, there are certain essentials that we have uh, in place for negotiation. First one is setting goals. The goal must be set in the very beginning, right? So setting goals, what exactly Walmart wanted to acquire from Flipkart. So setting goal, and then your best alternative to a negotiated agreement, that is BATNA. So is there any plan B? Is there any alternate to the solution that we are looking at, right? And then reservation price. So this is the point. Reservation price is the point from where the one of the parties either back away or goes ahead. So, for example, when we go for negotiating with the vendors uh, to a vegetable market, right? And there, when we ask what is the cost of tomatoes, and it says 30 rupees, and we know it is asking for too much of money from us, right? So what we do, what we try to negotiate, we try to negotiate it to the point that we both are happy, right? So we start by with 15 rupees or 10 20 rupees, and then there is a threshold. Either you give me in 25 rupees or I walk off, right? And then if that is possible, then the vendor sells you the tomatoes, or it says, okay, you may walk off. So walk away. So that is the point where you either back off from the negotiation or you move ahead, right? So for an outcome lower than the reservation price is not agreement, is no agreement preferable. So lesser than that or greater than that. So we have to look at that fixed point, a particular point in our negotiation, where we see whether that is break even or not. We have to move forward or not, we have to back away from or not. And and constantly we have to look at the bigger picture, we have to look at the larger picture of organizational interest, right? Because we are not representing ourselves there, we are representing our organization. So that is the point where we have to understand whether we have to stay here or not. Then it involves 5 stages. First, prepare, then exchange information, then clarify, bargain and solution, and in the end, conclusion and implementation. Let's look at these one by one. Prepare. This is first vital stage, very vital, right? How, why it is vital? Let's discuss them. Here in this stage, we have to break down our expectations. What do we expect from this negotiation? What do we want the outcome to be from this expectation? And it is not like a whole outcome, it is part outcome. So that outcome becomes whole, and we have to go for parts, we have to go for chunks of that whole pie, right? So that is there we have to prepare. Then after we have broken down the expectations, we have to research both workable and non-workable aspects. What is workable and what is not non-workable, right? Workable and non-workable, like uh, two things: desirable and doable. We desire the whole world to come in our whether that is doable or not. I wish to go to Mars without any projectile. Is that possible? So we have to understand this, we have to work on we have to research both workable and non-workable aspects of that expectation that we have broken down. So we have to check that if that particular or one particular part or portion of the expectation, is it workable, is it feasible, and if it is not feasible, then it is better to move ahead, right? So what happened when I was in my teachers training program, we had to prepare our lesson plan, and in our lesson plan we had to work on the desired question or questions. We have to imagine, we had to imagine that what could be asked, right? So you have to ask those questions to all the parts of expectations, all the expectations that you have broken down, right? And you have to see whether you can get it or not. Then making a list of concessions you wish to provide. Once you have worked out on workable and non-workable aspects, we have to see that if it is non-workable, uh, is it possible that with some concession we can make it workable, right? So even non-workable aspects of that expectations, right, we have to see if we can take a step towards making it workable. Determine relationship with the other party. What kind of relationship you want, you wish to have with that party, whether it is one time negotiation, whether that like in Walmart case, does the Walmart wish to continue this relationship with Flipkart, or it is one time, like if it is if it is acquiring around 70% of stakes of Flipkart. So if it is, it a one time stake acquisition, or it wishes to move further in future, or if it wishes to release some stake in future. So that is what a relationship you have to determine. Then prepare BATNA, like prepare that plan B. If nothing works out, what is the plan B? We should not go anywhere, or we should not go for negotiation in particular with only plan A. We cannot say that we do not have a plan B, right? So prepare can also include definition of the ground realities, and we have to ask questions: where, when, with whom, under what time constraint, right? So these things we have to ask ourselves. Or in case of Flipkart and Walmart, Flipkart or say Walmart set a panel of people who are going to go ahead with the negotiations with the Flipkart. So they sat down, and then they tried to broke down the tried to breaking down the expectations. Then they researched on workable and non-workable. They made a list of concessions that they could provide to Flipkart. Then they also decided which type of a relationship they wished to persist with Flipkart. Then Walmart had a plan B. Then again, it asked questions to in that meeting of the panel, right? They asked questions to each other, right? So where was the negotiation? When was the negotiation? With whom they were going to negotiate, and under what time constant and time frame, and all those things they discussed. Then once we have gone for we have completed this stage one of prepare, then exchange information with the other party. uh, you need to share initial position. You have to tell them. Walmart told Flipkart that they wished to acquire around 70% of stake, right? So that is initial position. Whether that is 65% or 75%, what is there for grabbing, up for grabbing. So that is different thing. But initial position, what is the beginning? Somewhere you have to break the ice, right? Then share underlying interests and concerns. So under what interests Walmart wished to um, acquire a certain portion of stake in Flipkart, and what are the concerns it has? Like Walmart opened its own facilities in Delhi and NCR areas, but it was not that successful, right? So through collaboration or through acquisition of Flipkart, what is the interest that Walmart has, right? What are the concerns that it has, whether that can fail or that will be a successful? So they are the concerns. Then take away at the end of a negotiation, what is that Walmart looking at in the end of the negotiation with Flipkart? So it is sharing the initial position where they are, and then in the end they have to set the result. And with some exceptions, or with some sort of changes in that, they can always go for that takeaway. Then the third stage is clarification, clarify. So discussion starts right after takeaway at the end of negotiation. This position starts. So first, justify and bolster claim. What claim Walmart has? Walmart has got bigger revenue coffer, right? So that is one thing. Flipkart has lesser one. So behind that, what can be other things, other aspects, right? In case of a disagreement, discuss the disagreement in detail and reach to the middle path, right? So if they disagree at certain point, and what is that point? That point is break down expectation. So once you have broken down the expectations, one expectation become 1 point. So when you are discussing that one expectation, right? So, and if there is a disagreement over that, so what should be the middle path? And if you take up the middle path, that is very easy to comply with. And but you also must understand, you must take one step at a time. You must take up one expectation at a time, one broken down expectation at a time. You should not take up all the things, all the expectations at the same time. Then after that, we have got bargain and solution. Bargain and solution, both sides begin give and take. What is there to be offered? What is there to be taken up? Right. Then each offer must have a counter offer to suit the discussion. Right. So if there is an offer, there must be a counter offer. Right. Like if you go for that tomato wala, vegetable vendor, right? And you say, okay, he says 30 rupees, you say 20 rupees, right? So you say, okay, give me in 22. He will say, no, I will give you in 28. So what is that counter offer? And then in the end you say, okay, na teri na meri, 25 le le, right? So that middle path we have to choose. One, two, we have to go for a counter offer, right? And then manage concession. How much concession we can give? Can we give 30 rupees, or can the vendor go for 25 rupees or 24 rupees? So what kind of concession you have at your hand? But do not disclose all your cards in one go. You have to keep your cards very close to your chest. You have not to show anything to your other party, right? Keep your emotions in check. At any point of negotiation, do not show your emotion, whether you are happy if you have achieved your say one expectation. Do not show your emotion. And or if you have not achieved your expectation, do not show your emotion. Do not fall into any ugly kind of altercation, right? Use verbal and non-verbal communication, active listening, feedback, body language, etc., to understand what the other party has to offer. This is where we read other party. Do not, I do not mean that the other party is not reading you. The other party is also reading you. So we have to understand the cues that this at this point in the middle of negotiation, when we are bargaining, when we are reaching to a solution, we do not have to showcase any kind of unwanted verbal or non-verbal communication or cues. Come to a win-win situation. This win-win situation is called a positive course of action. So we have got two types. One is hard bargain, that is win-lose situation. The other one is win-win situation, right? So try to go for win-win situation. This is a positive one. Here you can reach to some sort of negotiated path, right? And it is very positive. So what is that win-win situation? You can see a four block diagram with you. On x-axis you have to put yourself, and on the y-axis you have to put the other party, right? And on the basis of on the basis of generous collaboration, avoidant, and competitive, right? You have to judge yourself, you have to act yourself, and you have to judge others, and you have to act for others, right? So all this avoidant is very near and close to both the parties, right? So try to avoid as much as possible. Try to avoid any falling into any kind of um, unwanted situation, right? Then be competitive, generous. The other party must be generous, right? You must be competitive, and in the vice versa, they will be competitive and you will have to be generous. So you have always to find a middle path to reach that collaboration, right? Which is on the farthest point for both the parties. And then conclusion and implementation. Conclude the negotiation on a positive and high note. Do not leave any negotiation in the middle. Reach to a conclusion, right? And that reaching to a conclusion means you have reached on a to positivity on a high note. That is how you reach to a conclusion. Do not leave it in the middle. Try to establish long-term and mutually profitable relations. You have to understand it. We just discussed in case of Walmart and Flipkart, right? So what are your goals? And always maintain that relationship. We have also discussed in business correspondence and business communication that we must have a long-term profitable relation. So you extend profit to them, they will extend profit to you, right? That makes you a goodwill. Outline the conclusion as expectations, right? So what are the conclusions, and whether they are at par with the expectations that you had broken down in the very beginning, right? And whether see whether there is any fluctuation in that broken down expectation. Assure and ensure the expectation to be implemented effectively in a time bound manner, right? So we must have to look at the expectations or conclusion expectation, right? So we have to we have to look at the conclusion as expectation, and we have to implement the expectation that is expected of us, and that is what we expect from other party, right? So that must be implemented and implemented effectively. And with a written contract, uh, try your level best to write down all the terms and conditions and everything, and come up with a written contract. What are the things to do and what are the things not to do, and just to avoid any illegality thereafter, right? Follow the smooth implementation. So once you have implemented implemented the expectation, follow it up. Check out whether that implementation was smooth or not, whether that was implemented effectively or not. Then we come to negotiation strategies. You have to convey your confidence always. Never lose your confidence, or even if you lose your confidence, do not show it up. Set the stage for agreement. Yes, you have to be positive all the time, and you have to keep considering um, your strength and weakness. That will set stage for agreement. Do not hesitate in telling your mind. This is important actually. When we are in the process of in negotiation, right? And if we have got one idea, better idea, I have got a better idea, or I have got something which can make the whole negotiation better, right? And if I wait till the end means that part will reach a conclusion. And if I am speaking after that conclusion, right, that will bear no fruit. That will be irritating actually, right? So once we have reached the conclusion, see, this guy has another thing to say, right? So whenever it comes to your mind, speak up, ask open-ended questions. This way you will be able to understand their expectation. In this way you will be able to understand their mind. You will be able to read other party's mind, and you will be able to understand what kind of negotiation he or I mean that other party wants, right? And once you read that mind, it will be very easy for you to go ahead with your negotiation. You will achieve whatever you set as goal. Listen and restate to avoid confusion or misunderstanding. Listen actively. Listen with a purpose to understand, right? And if there is even a slight chance of not understanding or not getting what the other party wants to convey, clear that confusion, clear that misunderstanding. Why? Because you should not take up anything for granted. In the end, it is going to be a legal document, a binding document. So do not take anything for granted. If there is anything that must be restated and must be cleared, right? Then watch the non-verbal cues. We have discussed that we have to look at the non-verbal cues of others. So stay calm and depersonalize disagreements. At at no point we need to show our emotions. Never, right? We have to stay calm in all the situations. Remember that we are not representing ourselves individually. We are representing our organization, right? So we have to keep calm. We do not have to show any emotion just for the heck of it, right? And then depersonalized disagreement on the negotiation table. If there is any disagreement, right, I should not take it on my personal agenda, that how dare the other party disagree with me, right? Because that other party, that person from the other party is also representing his organization or her organization, right? So we have to depersonalize disagreement. Then separate discussion over a problem from exploration of solution. So when we are discussing a problem, we have to discuss the problem. When we are discussing a solution, we have to discuss a solution. So when we are discussing a problem, we do not have to discuss a solution. That way the problem will be lost. And when we are discussing a solution, we do not discuss a problem. That way the solution will be lost. So when we are discussing a problem, we have to discuss a problem. When we are discussing a solution, we have to discuss a solution. Do not compare offers. if Walmart has better offers from Snapdeal or anybody, right? So Walmart is not going to compare any offer from from others to Flipkart. And likewise, if Flipkart has got better offers from Amazon or something, it will not discuss its offers with Walmart. Don't issue an ultimatum. We never have to on negotiation table. We never have to issue an ultimatum that this is the time frame that we have to finish this negotiation. Otherwise, this negotiation is off the table, right? So we never have to go for that ultimatum kind of thing, or we do not have to go for setting that ultimatum for a particular stake that you give me this or you give me that. No, we do not have to go for it. Use deferment as a trade-off, right? So defer the negotiation, right? If we do not wish to go further in the negotiation, right? We do not want to trade, right? So what we do, we defer, we postpone it, right? And postponement will do two things. One, will give an indication to the party that we are not interested. Second, we still have a window through which we can enter at any given time to renegotiate the whole thing. Use your leverage. If you have any upper hand, you must use it. Why not? If we have any upper hand, why cannot we use it, right? Bring documents that support your position. We always have to keep those documents that support our position. If there is a position that we are making, if there is a claim that we are making, we must have a supporting document to it, and we have to reach a closure. We always must reach to a closure. Then can we bring value to our negotiation? In a way, yes. How? Never tell a lie. We never tell a lie in a negotiation. We never do go for false promises. That way, we bring value to negotiation. We always have to be nice. Always have to be considerate. We always have to understand the timing. Right? Consider the timing means if the other person, the other party is going through some crisis or is going through some other official thing, we have to understand that and we have to consider that timing particularly, right? Then do your homework. We always have to be prepared. We always have to bring our documents with us. We always have to understand what are the expectations that other party has put up to us, and then we have to evaluate ourselves on these parameters. What additional preparation would have helped me? So if we have this completed discussion over one expectation, one broken down expectation, and then we have to look back to it, and we have to see what additional preparations would have helped me in better negotiating it, right? That way we bring value to other parts. Did I listen enough? There is a typos here. It has to be listened. Does not have to be listened, right? So did I listen enough? So there we have to see whether during that negotiation I have listened to and understood, interpreted well all the things that the other party had to say. Did I clarify statements from the other party? So if we had any misunderstanding or if I had any confusion, did I clarify it from the other party? Were options explored sufficiently? So was there any counter offer? Did we provide any counter offer? Did we go for a plan B? Did we? So every option must be explored, right? How much did the outcome each party's real needs, right? So what is there anything that we can have done better if we could have reached to a better deal? So that thing, all these parameters we can evaluate ourselves. this brings to the end of this session on negotiation. Hope you liked it.